Hi, I'm Kavitha Karthik from RYD Destination, specializing in immigration services. We are aggregated global consultant catering to services as higher education overseas, where we are connected with more than 1,500 colleges and universities globally. We also cater to job placements with work permit visas in Europe, New Zealand, Canada, USA, and Gulf and other countries more. More to this, we have a solution for the HNI clients where you can do your investments by being in your home country into business or purchase of real estate or many more options that is available from each country. We do cater to the immigration services upon the client's eligibility where we have a solution for each and every one of you, and feel free to contact me at any time. Thank you. Hi, I'm Kavitha Karthik from the organization Reach Your Destination, specializing in immigration services. We are accredited global consultants who cater for higher education for your children, where we're connected with 1,500 plus universities globally, handhold the students from enrolling, assessing, career guidance, and furthermore to settle in the destination country. We also cater to job placements at Europe, USA, Canada, Gulf, Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, and many more other countries, where we provide not only the job, but also the work permit visas process also. For the HNIs, never to forget, we do have options for investment overseas, like places of purchase of real estate properties into investment into business, but you don't have to travel. We have a solution from you being in your home country and doing the process for you. And never to forget, we have a solution for each and every one of you out there where we check and assess your profile, we build your profile and make sure upon your eligibility, we give the right solution. For one-stop solution and for permanent long-term solutions, feel free to reach your destination. Thank you. Hi, I'm Kavitha Karthik from the organization Reach Your Destination, specializing in immigration services. We are accredited global consultants who are providing services of higher education to students, where we are connected with 1,500 plus universities globally. We do job placements with work permit visas for the blue collar and as well as the white collar also at places like Europe, Canada, USA, Gulf, Singapore, Malaysia, and many more. We also give a provision for investors where they can get the benefit. We also support investors into investment in real estate, in business purchase, into virtual business establishment, and also completely operational of the business that they want to do it. As a permanent solution, we can also cater to permanent residency and green card processes. And according to the eligibility of each of the clients, we ensure that the programs are rightly conveyed and we ensure that we handle the client from the start to the end.
Hi, this is Joe with Career Mentors, and today we have the opportunity of welcoming Ms. Kavitha Karthik from Reach Your Destination. Hi, Kavitha.
Hi, Joe. Thank you for inviting me here.
It's a pleasure to meet you today. And Kavitha comes to us with over 12 years of experience in the field of overseas education consultancy as well as an immigration consultant. And she specializes in giving opportunities for students, for professionals, and for entrepreneurs, as well as immigration services to anybody wanting to look at an opportunity abroad. Right?
Yes, Joe, absolutely.
So, Kavitha, starting off to know more about your journey into founding Reach Your Destination. What is the vision behind Reach Your Destination?
It's a life experience. When I was located in Dubai and, looking for a job, something very precise to what I wanted to with a contentment was very difficult, especially as an expat life. So I had an opportunity to help one of the person who was looking for a job just as an on-look for him. And it clicked in. He got a job, he got his visa. And from then on, my journey started, which I liked the satisfaction of he settling in life. So it got very personal and I was very happy about it, as I told. And from there, I started to Gulf placement. Then I brought into Asia placement with Gulf. And then I got in touch with my attorney, with whom I'm working together with. So that's where our journey started together, where I have expanded to European and Western and Eastern countries as well. And Reach Your Destination, again, with the same life experience, is about RYD is about everything, reaching to your destination. It's not just the education, it's not just job, which I'll be sharing with you soon.
That is great. So that's quite an eventful journey. And I understand that you were abroad before, you were stationed abroad?
Yes, Joe. I was in Qatar, Doha, almost a year. And then from there, I was married and my husband and myself came in there to Dubai. looking out for a job again. And it was at the peak of placements. I got placed in a semi-government company. Life went on really good. And for my work reasons, I made a decision, which I'm very happy about again, to come back in September 22 and kind of give the best benefits to people whom I've been surrounded with and have grown up with.
So, to understand a little bit more about Reach Your Destination. So, I understand you facilitate a complete journey, whether it's a student who wants to apply for education, whether it's somebody, a professional looking for a career opportunity, or for an entrepreneur looking to set up a business, or even for somebody or family looking to immigrate, right? Could you tell me a little more about it?
Yes, Joe, certainly. It's a pleasure. Unlike other agents or brokers, RYD is about affiliated services provided by an IRCC registered attorney in Canada, and he is also the USA solicitor, which in broader sense meaning that a student or an individual who relocates to any country, it could be as for work, as for investment, being a government approved immigration attorney, we have our membership ID registered with the government. So this is like one-stop solution where a student will be guided not only for a student visa, but throughout his life for a complete settlement where he is looking into settle in a particular country and goes long for his lifetime. It's not just one visa transiting to other. So we as an attorney have the access to global portals, which is government approved again. So that's how we stand unique.
So, looking at the student journey, a lot of, I can't say misconceptions, but a lot of maybe a wrong understanding or not enough clarity, right, on the journey. So how could you provide more values for students per se?
Thank you for taking this up, Joe, because at today's world, this has become a priority as an issue itself, because our focus is more about emotional connections when a student is trying to relocate. It's just not the investment into fees where you're looking about the child getting into a job. It's about the child securing in life or the survival, where we ensure that we can actually handhold the student and make the student feel more comfortable, and they have to experience the same as home rather than being out of the home and, kind of feeling left out over there. So we make sure we handhold the client, the student and the parents to guide them the best career opportunities that is available overseas, and also to handhold them until they settle in an university along with the hostel facilities or accommodation, food, medical insurance, and many more that is connected for a student to grow overall rather than just the study.
So if we sort of break it down, let's say if we look at it from, it's just not only so the whole family is concerned. So for example, if you look at one of the biggest, factors is the investment that you make into education. It is a significant investment. Right. So, the family may or may not have the bandwidth. A lot of them are looking for maybe employment, not employment, maybe internship or part-time employment where the student can be gainfully employed for generating maybe a part-time income, which can help them when they're studying there. How would you be able to facilitate, especially on that?
Sure. For this, I will require a little more time to explain in detail. Now, when a child is relocating, it's more of an anxiety issue for the parents. What they want is a safety place for them to stay or studying, an environment that facilitates the child to grow up and do their education by their own. Though they are relatives, there are many friends who could support them. The child is more used to the family orient, which is like the parents' immediate relations. So here what we do is we are connected with universities, especially in USA, where in other colleges and universities, they give a fee structure where it's up to 25 to 30 lakhs per year. Okay. Only the tuition fees, only the education. Beyond that, parents have to arrange, most of the time it's through loan, which is the housing, accommodation, the books and the food and everything. But proudly saying we're connected with universities, which is 100 plus years old and they're government approved still, they're in operation fully, where the student pays the same amount, 25 to 30 lakhs Indian rupees per year as the fee. But the benefit here, one, they get the food and food, books and supplies, accommodation, medical insurance, and also the other subsidies where they don't have to go outside the college searching for individual requirements. So one safe place where the parents can send them and secure. More than this, there is at least 5 to 6 lakhs of scholarships which we can avail from the tuition fees which they're paying per year. So say like we have had recent experiences where we have done the we have already started with the August intake where the student pays like 17, 18 lakh for 1 year for a study in US. So the UG students, PG students are going there. So this is how we try to maximize, just not looking at, just the student going in there and studying. So now what after this also we do, like for the survival, because they go through an immigration attorney, the government always connected with us and they have a regular checks upon who we have sponsored or guaranteed or recommended to make sure that they are being continuously watched upon for their own safety. It's not like a spy kind of a scenario, but moreover to kind of have a check on them, So in any case of emergencies or medical emergencies or in need of any information, the student is very free. Even the parents are very free to reach our attorney and myself, where we will handle each and every issues that they're facing through and ensure that they're given the solution. So we just don't do the consultancy or career guidance. What I'm talking about, the student becomes a part of us. Every child I'm talking about. Now, how this is possible is just by that membership ID, which the attorney receives it through the government approval. So the government, it's like having the services directly by the government itself. That's how we operate from RYD.
Okay, so there is a lot more benefit of what you're mentioning. So let us say, to cover one aspect of what you mentioned that, just for a tuition fees would be something which is like maybe 25 plus lakhs. But in your case, you're including your food, your accommodation, your hostel, all that,
Yep.
Hostel, health,
Yep.
everything. The whole support system is included in 25 lakhs
Yes.
plus. But you're saving close to 100% because the others end up spending at least double that amount.
Yes.
If you look at all the support services, right? That is one. The safety aspect in terms of, since you are accredited by the government, you have a lot of support systems in place in terms of safety.
Yeah, for this, I would just mention one case study, which everyone is aware of, a recent scenario where 700 students in Canada were deported just because an agent or few agents did a fake document submissions. Now, this, many of them where they've asked me, like, why wasn't it understood earlier? That's what the agents and brokers do. They find ways in order to get your application done. So that's exactly what I say, that most of the time it's Asians are the targets. Because of not being aware of what are the opportunities out there, they take in the path what is available. So that's why we stand unique, where our informations are directly from the government, which I'll be explaining soon. So what happens is those 700 students, how did they get out? Was it just that the government declared that, okay, the students are going to come in and they're going to study back? No. They had been assigned pro rata government approved immigration attorneys for each student. They went through the process of legalizing their certificates and documents. They had to acknowledge everything. The parents had to give an acknowledgement. So it was a thorough 3-month verification done. Mostly the media doesn't cover this just because it's all legal issues and it's confidential. So once all these informations in the process were done, all of them who wanted to stay back and study, today they're all active, legalized, and in the proper manner, they're continuing the education. Few of the students have also applied for work permits for the transition. And moreover, from that point of time, they will be under the care of the immigration attorney who's taken up the profile.
Fantastic. More on that subject. So when you mention an immigration attorney, so what I understand is, let's say somebody comes in as a student. Now they would need to, let's say if they want to transition to a work permit after the study program, also from the work permit maybe to a permanent resident, you would always need the services of an immigration attorney, correct? And the immigration attorney, I believe, fulfills the need of, bridging that gap between the government's requirement and eligibility, and also creating the blueprint so that they can seamlessly transition from one sort of the study permit to a work permit to a permanent resident. Is that
Correct.
the right
Yes.
sort of?
So it's moreover like when a student is going to come from Asia, what normally happens at today's time is they're given career guidance. They're chosen, college. Few of them do from Genuine Portal. Few of them just do a Google search. Out of my experience, I've seen that. So the reliability on the information given is not very authentic or not very sustainable.
True.
So what happens, a student from here just goes with an open view of their life. They go, okay, we're going there on 2 years. We know student visa is the most easiest approval visa. And then they go there and let's find a job or let's kind of continue it, which is the biggest mistake they do. Today, if you're planning to relocate, we are conducting, career counseling, career path guidance for students from 8th standard to start planning from now on if you want to get connected overseas. Why this? Is because it's a plan to be executed. It's not a decision to be taken. because that's the life of a person which could turn around in any way. So once you come as a student visa, before the course ends, as part of our duty in the sense, immigration attorney's duty, we kind of proactively contact the parents or the student to see what is the next plan, where do they stand, what do they want, is it work permit? Then we directly guide them to the process, and then we make sure that it is all carried on properly. So complete guidance is set up even before you get into the hassle of thinking. Here I would like to mention normally what agents do. Why I keep comparing is because for the clarity of understanding. That's my point, what I would like to express here. So an agent, what he does, he purchases the visa from anyone. It could be any company, a trading company, a small restaurant. And his point is to sell the visa. Now, we have a hotel management student who's done F&B, who's really scored good, still accepting that offer because they don't know where to go for an authentic offer. So that is where we need to connect to the immigration attorney. Why? Because the job which is required by the employer, they registered in a government portal and attorneys are connected in the government portal. So before even giving the requirement, the employer and the attorney have to sign with the government an MOU where the company has to establish the 5-year financial statements.
Okay.
Profitable up to $500,000 per year. Without this, they can't sign a contract with us. So $500,000 turnover is moreover like a properly established company. So we are not, again, because we are under the membership ID, we cannot give temporary job offers. We cannot give part-time. We cannot make you into contractual basis. Our solutions are only permanent based. So you come into our company where we are placing you. One, you get a long-term work permit approval. Second, you are authorized or you are even eligible for taking a permanent residency. This is a gateway of the process where you can't directly transform to work permit. It's the attorney who will support you with the document and recommend you for the process. So here when we start as a student life, we are not looking at 2-year visa. We are looking for the child to properly settle. Properly, I mean in all sense, personally grow up to the complete, to understand and be aware of what is in the society. So because of attorney, every change in program that the college is getting, the student will be automatically emailed. The parents will be known about the recent updates of the program. The mistake or the error what a child or a parent does in most of the time is thinking that, okay, we'll take in a temporary solution, we'll go there and see what is going on. So that profile that you create in the starting is wrong. There is the first error everyone does. Once that is not done properly, your life goes in with something that has not been filled. So that gap keeps there. You cannot fill in that profile later. You can make an upgrade of your profile, but the base you can't change. And the base profile without an attorney's ID also doesn't really substantiate to the government. So I always have been telling to students and parents, requesting them, please ensure certain points, especially is your file or is your child's profile backed up with a membership ID, attorney's membership ID. That's where you will not be having the fear, you will not be having the anxiety issues, because as you were mentioning, Joe, the loan amount they take to recover that, the child recovers. As soon as they study, the child starts recovering, which becomes a huge burden. We're talking about 60 lakhs per year on an average. So we are not going there at all. We finish the full course in like 40 lakhs. That's what we can offer. And how authentic, genuine? It's like having the Aadhaar card in every place that process goes on. So I can't afford to do any negative or any flaw over there. It has to be authentic.
So from what I understand, from a due diligence perspective, you're also able to know whether the institution or the employer is credible.
Yes.
And maybe have some sort of a history about them. So you're not making a blind choice.
Exactly.
And that is how it would be very beneficial for the family or somebody who's looking to go abroad, right?
Job security, job reliability, job sustainability.
So is there some sort of a registration required, or, you mentioned accredited. So what is the percentage of accredited attorneys available to,
Okay. Now, attorneys are also different levels. Now, we have ICCRC in Canada, who can only process student visas and we can tell visit visas. They're temporary solutions. Now, most of them are not aware of this as well. They think IRCC registered attorney can do everything. Now, that again, he goes to another IRCC attorney who has the complete access to process any kind of visa. Like suppose we have some kind of discrepancy between the family, wherein normally we have high courts and supreme courts where we have the case fought. Similarly, IRCC attorney can take a permanent solution visas. ICCRC is for temporary. Like similarly, every country has this hierarchy. So before, as I said, before you make a decision, you need to know these information. So your child has gone there and you are in control of the process. You don't have to rely on an agent. You don't have to rely on a broker or any consultant of that matter who were not properly registered.
So I believe the first step is to first consult you and reach your destination so that everybody can understand what is the specific profile they can create and what are the best opportunities available. Is that?
Yes, sure. It's a 30 days process with RYD, where what we do is we understand every aspect of the child and the parent. Then, most important, we check the eligibility.
Okay.
Like for work permit, we have most of them coming saying, I have 20 years of experience, particularly maybe in a managerial level. I need a job in a similar level in USA. Now, 20 years of experience within India, within your home country, is equivalent to as a base, as a fresher. But if you have minimum 2 to 5 years abroad in any country, you're considered as someone who has been qualified for a job of a managerial position. So these are the small things we will give them. We will give them the awareness of how life is going to be there. So it's a completely 30 days process. After understanding, that's when we start making the profile. Profile is very simple as an understanding. It's just about the person, individual accomplishments, education, experience. And it's not a CV. It's more in depth. So that's what a profile is all about.
So the first consultation to understand what is it that the client is looking for. And then once we understand what they're looking for and once we discuss all the different opportunities, then you move into the eligibility criteria.
Yes.
Regarding that outcome which they want.
Yes. Like suppose we have a student who has all checked through Google, which is normally their source of information. They come back saying that, okay, now in Germany, in this particular province, I want to get into the college. Possible. But again, what the government portal information is having would not be there on a social media.
Correct.
So we go back, check in the government portal. For us, everything is about government portal. Let it be permanent residency, let it be green card, let it be any kind of process of visa. It's only referral to a government portal. So we get into the portal, we recheck if that information is available with the university. If not available, we email the university, we check if the information is missed out, which normally doesn't happen. So post that, we let the client know. So we break it down as much as simple as possible. Here, the main point is they go secured without a fear, like what happens next.
So Kavitha, moving to the next segment, which is making a career opportunity or finding a career abroad. Right, different opportunities for professionals. How can we help them?
For career opportunities, Joe, we are connected again with information from the government job portals, where every country, where the requirement of the employer is placed in the job portal, and attorneys are accessible to the portal to see the authenticity of the requirement and the company stability. So we have an agreement that is signed with the employer when we have the financials checked about 5 years bank statement, where they've done a minimum profit of $500,000 every year. Once that is all checked, due diligence is done, then the documents are submitted to the government saying these many requirement of employees by the employer, which immigration attorney is ready to facilitate from recruitment, visa processing, hand-holding to the company until that. So once this MOU is done, then we contact our clients, first again the profile building and then assessment to check their eligibility about which requirement they fit into. So this is totally biased to the employer. We don't go under any recommendations. We don't go under any references as such. It's purely when the employer is satisfied with the profile of the person. Few jobs are with interviews, few direct without job interviews. Like nurses in Finland, we have no job interviews done. They're directly placed. Once the employer is convinced of the profile we give, and then they have a direct placement done.
So if I'm looking at from the candidate's point of view, one thing which I understand is you do a due diligence in terms of verifying if the client is genuine, the work opportunity is genuine, right?
Yes.
And that is with the government portal,
Certainly.
so that they don't have any challenges in what are the deliverables in terms of what are they getting, their salary package, what are the benefits, all that is pretty much documented.
Yes.
Correct? So that pain point is addressed.
Yes. Because as an immigration consultant, the first question who's seeking job will be like, how do we rely on you?
Correct.
How authentic is your offer letter? So we work on transparency. We have all the government attested documents, which is relevant to the client, passed on to the client directly. Even if you have a third party connections to whom they've come in, the original documents have to be handed out to them. In fact, I am the person who directly delivers it to them, ensuring that because these records, these documents are their assets when they go abroad. Like suppose we must have heard a lot of instances where they have not given enough of salary, the company doesn't exist, offer letter has not been followed. So these government approved documents, the client can always go to the Ministry of Interiors, submit to them with the proof of what they've got from the employer and say that this is the difficulty we are facing. And the action is taken not only by placing the client to another suitable opportunity without any additional expense, but the government will take action on the employer. So this is purely an authentic MOU, which is totally governed by the government, and the attorney just carries on the process which has been, issued to him. So that is why we clarify with the client. We have a clarity in the beginning itself. We tell them that this is how we work. We give them references of our past success stories where we show them the offer letter, how you can yourself check if the company is genuine or no. So we have accessible to government portals. They can check the government membership ID, business number, every information with the government, even though sometimes the government portals issues or establishes their financial stabilities as well. So these documents, when referred, the client has the confidence that to move ahead. So we don't just close eye, just take the passport and just tell them that you're being placed. We don't follow those.
So it's a win-win solution because
Completely.
The government is happy, the employees are happy, the candidates are happy. So everything is very transparent. So that's a big win.
Yeah, because for an attorney, it's not only getting in people into employment. Attorney has a very responsible position to ensure he's getting a good citizen into the country. So he has to check on the past and ensure for the future as well. So that is a very big responsibility. That's why our membership ID holds with the government. So anything that is like, suppose we have a difficulty that the client is faced, when he goes to the Ministry of Interiors, attorney is informed. So attorney has to involve to say these agreements were done and this is what was done. So we have never got such an issue. I would be very confidently saying that because every step we go through the government's approval. There are around 18 steps during the work permit process. And every 18th step, we have to attest. It's like a notary attestation we do with the government. So government very well aware of each and every step we are doing with the particular candidate.
So in terms of, countries that you work with, what is the current trend among countries and different occupations required, which may not be known to the public?
Yes. One truth that I would proudly share, a country is built from the blue collars. I've had a lot of people, not agreeing to it. But the point is, we are all still agriculture based. So we need to start from there. 10 people needs a supervisor. 10 supervisors needs a manager. So it's not that we start from the white collar where we had the manager or the CEO sitting there and then, get it. That is for decision making as an organizational structure. But the actual operation starts when you start with the blue collar. So right now, after COVID, a lot of countries are favoring the clients, which I'm talking about from blue collar policies to be done. For instances, blue collars were never able to sponsor the family before. But now even in USA and Canada, we get an approval for the clients where they can go along with the family there, which is a very big change in the global job market scenario. And there are more coming in. Education point of view, like suppose we have blue collar jobs who are 7th past are eligible for blue collar jobs in Europe countries and Canada as well. So the governments are facilitating, but the people aren't aware of it. They only take in, it's a psychological problem or a factor where people go into the negative news. So they know the problems that's happening there, but the positive information are not digged in. So that's where we come in place.
Nice. I think that's a big learning for all of us. And moving to the, the entrepreneurship or the permanent migration for those who are self-employed or entrepreneurs, what would be solutions that they can look at?
This is a very vast, interesting area. Now, say, suppose instantly we have already a person who's into a particular business where he's very well going on here and he's looking for expansion. We have something called C Corporation in Canada where the person doesn't have to travel, doesn't have to take a visa. By he being here, we can do the trade license operations, completely legal, open a bank account for him, also process permanent residency for his family. So this comes in as a package. There is a limitation in which the terms and conditions comes in picture, of course, but it's possible. So how normally we guide our client who is looking for it because they don't know the market scenario, the live market scenario there. So we tell them that to process the trade license, take a business visit visa from the company themselves. They can travel there for a short period, look at what can be possible, process the permanent residency, then get the business completely operational because we also support with infrastructure, staff recruitment and all that is required as sales liability. We take care of the complete solution of a setup for a business. So once that is done, with the PR, he can travel and settle over there. This is like a 2-year program we are traveling with the client, minimum I'm talking about. So for other clients who want to open or purchase a business, we have clients who have purchased grocery store, provision stores, boutique. Recently, we had a client who purchased a shell company, which was on sale. Now, US, Mexico, there's a huge 3 highway routes that's coming up. We have a plenty of opportunity for the investors. Now, one unique thing that I would like to say for people to be aware of is you don't have to start, the minute you say USA, Canada, it doesn't have to start in billions. With just 5,000 US dollars, you can become into a government approved investor, a small gain, and you can start earning the returns. It's like mutual funds. It's like where you do within your home country. You can also, by being here, authentically do it. Again, it's through government, through all the documents and approval, through the government. The documents will be submitted. You will be contacted. The client will be contacted from the banks here. So it's all a process where the authenticity travels along with it the minute you enter out those steps. Another option is into investment into real estate. This in Hungary, we have a wonderful project that's going on for a family of 4 PR, which is processed within 3 months, where they purchase a property, a duplex, and it is for 3 years. And after that, if they want, they can resell it without depreciation. We have a similar project in USA. We have another project in Canada. So for entrepreneurs, it's a red carpet welcome from any country.
Wow. So that's very encouraging.
Yes.
Especially we're looking at a lot of entrepreneurs from India.
Yes, even the countries are welcoming the entrepreneurs because everyone has understood that today's world is not about challenges. It's about the tactics to live independently and to achieve something much more. So many unique businesses. I mean, recently we had someone who was into cars, automobiles, but all that he does is he's connected with Germany company and they have a very unique product, which it's not there in Asia. But he doesn't get the product until he runs a 6 months training to the client and ensures they understand the product and do it. He's added this as his activity in business. So much of uniqueness the government is encouraging. Even government is investing in many of the businesses which is unique. So much to understand, before you get into this platform. But if you're looking at one-time solution for your children, trust me, investment into real estate will be the best. Because ultimately, you want your child to go to student visa, transition to work permit, transition to permanent residence. You're giving your child that itself in the beginning. That's a huge success for the child's life.
Completely agree. I think that adds a lot of value. So Kavitha, we covered a lot of ground in terms of how you're able to build a lot of value for anybody looking for a opportunity abroad. One more, segment we would like to cover is completely into immigration, into permanent residency or immigration, both for Indians as well as maybe somebody abroad who wants to relocate. So, what sort of solutions do we have?
Sure, Joe. Now, permanent residency as a term itself means it's one-time solution. So this is going to be a very big decision for people who are going to go from their home country to whichever country they want to settle in. So here it's about not only just a process, it's about leaving their home back, leaving their things back, or then getting it there, bringing their things from this home to another home. So we call this permanent residency process a very personalized. What we do initially is we talk to the client over at least 2 months where we understand the reason for them to choose the particular country. Most of the parents do a decision upon child's education. Most of them choose because they just want to go to a country because it's very beautiful, but forgetting the other aspects. So we kind of understand what is the client's requirement, give them the other options, which is beneficial to them. And then we start on with the process. So everything goes step by step. And this is a journey where we travel at least 12 months. So in this, we understand the family. We have to not only do the process, we have to check which place they want to live in, where they want to take in a home, which kind of job they are going to look for. So it's the complete facility. We need to facilitate this process for a client. So as I told again, because we are within the local of any country, suppose say one person wants to get into Germany under settlement. So our attorney speaks to the attorney from Germany for those particular areas where he will not be accessible, like location, local job market. The other things are available in the portal. That shouldn't be a problem. But for the information based, he will get in touch with the attorneys again, where the ideas and the informations are exchanged and shared it with the client. So it's not a process at all. It's very personalized. When we take every minor information into a very big importance so that the client feels, okay, they have not left something and gone and started all over again. This is a kind of mindset which most of them face, so they kind of leave everything, get homesick, but they're forced to give because they invest so much. It's not only money, it's the time and the decision. And most of the time, what we have experienced, few of our clients have come back to us saying that we made a wrong decision. Now, correcting a decision which is a wrong, when it's such big for a family, it's very huge. The correction becomes very heavy. So, but even then, our focus will be to handhold the client to ensure they don't just move in there. They go and settle and start their life in the good scenario.
So basically, right from choosing the right country or the right opportunity, then facilitating that whole process, and even after reaching that country, stabilizing there, relocating there, getting settled into the community, all that we handhold them. Is that right?
Giving him the community connects.
So that is so much of a value add.
Yeah. Even for the students, as I told, parents decide, okay, now this area will be good. But they wouldn't know the scholarship options. They would not have that information in hand. So that is exactly where we put importance. We give them the details that this country can actually be more beneficial for your child in the long-term run. So many of my clients have successfully, the files have been successful. And I would say again with a lot of pride that they are all happy and the children are also very much happy in that terms. So that's a part of satisfaction.
So if I can understand it correctly, let's say you have a budget maybe which is allocated for a study of a child, maybe like 40, 50 lakhs or whatever. Maybe within the same budget, if the family is looking to relocate, maybe there is an opportunity depending on the eligibility, right?
Yes.
For the, for a similar amount where if permanent residency is the end, we can facilitate that as a solution rather than just the study program.
True. Because we are not emotionally connected with the process. The clients are. But as mentioned, I've never spoken about the budget yet. But the budget factor with a substantial benefit is what, as an attorney, we look at. Because that's a point when your emotion, you miss out. You might be ready to compromise, but do the compromise for the better one, where you're more benefited as a family. So it comes as a package. When it's especially with a green card, permanent solution, marriage, we do conduct stay or like countries, marriages go on. We recently had a Filipino and an Indian marriage that we completed. So there are a lot of legality issues in there. So it's about, when it is coming about human bonding, it's taken very seriously and very personalized, but budget friendly with the best benefit. That's what we call it.
Perfect. It's been awesome talking to you and
pleasure, Joe.
Getting to learn so much about what a lot of us don't know about overseas and opportunities, and especially end-to-end solution. We would want to know about why somebody would choose Reach Your Destination over other providers.
Now, over 12 years, Joe, I myself and my team has had hundreds of customers whom we have processed student visas, provided them employment with visas, permanent residency solutions, green card solutions. And again, it's a complete hand-holding process that we have done. Now, why choose us amongst others is because every client that's come to us, we ensure that they submit the documents and stay with peace of mind. Because even before they submit or even they come for an assessment, we show them that our authenticity of a process, our documents, and reliability for the lifelong term. So this is how Reach Your Destination stands very unique from others.
So it's complete peace of mind, personalized solution in terms of choosing an opportunity.
Completely. Because our way, in short, in sense, why we do it is because we have to give good citizens to that country. So our main motto as an attorney is a responsibility there. And it's a satisfaction when you see people coming up to you and saying that, yes, because that's where I started this complete journey from.
True.
When the person I employed who came back to me, gifted me with a small dairy and he said, ma'am, thank you. My family is happy now.
Yeah.
I carry that moment with every client of mine and it's been continuing, so I enjoy that moment. And for that sake, I ensure it's going to be very personalized services that we provide to them with a complete peace of mind that they can rest and rely on us.
Yeah, one thing I really understood from this conversation is, see, all of us are looking for a win-win solution. So if we are including the country, if you're including the employer, if you're including the client, and everybody wins in this, because to everyone it's an asset, it's something which is positive. I think that would be the best outcome. Thank you so much for chatting with us today and for the time spent today, Kavitha.
It's a
Career
pleasure.
Mentors will be looking to promote you on its, through the community for a lot more people to reach you to understand more about opportunities abroad.
First of all, Joe, it's a great pleasure. I mean, this is a wonderful opportunity for me and to give the services that the benefit can be reached up to the people, which I was been looking for. And sincerely, it's a pleasure moment and it's a pride moment for you. I mean, I would thank you and your team for supporting me in all ways and looking forward to more.
Thank you so much, Kavitha.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.